हेलो साथीहरू।
हेलो।
हेलो साथीहरू, हाई एन्ड नमस्ते एभ्रिवान। फेरि पनि म तपाईँहरूको सामु उपस्थित भइसकेको छु। मिठा मिठा र ज्ञानवर्धक कुराहरू लिएर आज पनि म महत्त्वपूर्ण टपिकहरूमा विभिन्न किसिमका क्वेसनहरू लिएर, रिसर्च मेथोलोजी सम्बन्धी विभिन्न किसिमका क्वेसनहरू लिएर, इम्पोर्टेन्ट क्वेसनहरू लिएर तपाईँ सामु उपस्थित भइसकेको छु। पक्कै पनि यो भिडियोले, यो क्लासले तपाईँहरूलाई र तपाईँहरूको तयारीलाई केही थप सहयोग पुर्याउने आशा राखेको छु। साथीहरू, यो आजको प्रश्न उत्तर अथवा क्वेसन आन्सर सेसनमा हामीले रिसर्च मेथोलोजी सम्बन्धी सोध्न सकिने विभिन्न परीक्षाहरूमा एनआरबीको अधिगीतको परीक्षामा र सँगसँगै बिबिएस, एमबिएस, बिबिए, एमबिएको परीक्षाहरूमा र सँगसँगै अन्य परीक्षामा रिसर्च मेथोलोजी सम्बन्धी विभिन्न किसिमका क्वेसन्सहरू, विभिन्न किसिमका क्वेसनहरूको सोल्युसनहरू, मोडल सोल्युसनहरू लिएर आइपुगेका छौँ। अब यो सेसनलाई अगाडि बढाउँ त है। हेलो साथीहरू, है म क्वेसनहरू सुरु गरेँ त है साथीहरू। आज म तपाईँहरूलाई करिब करिब 15-20वटा क्वेसनहरू म छलफल गराउनेछु र त्यो सम्बन्धी हामीले क्वेसन आन्सरिङको पाटोलाई हेर्नेछौँ। क्वेसन नम्बर 1मा रहेको छ है, पहिलो क्वेसन रहेको छ। सिम्पल छ, इट इज अ कन्सेप्चुअल क्वेसन रहेको छ। वाट इज रिसर्च अथवा वाट इज साइन्टिफिक रिसर्च? ओके, देन एक्सप्लेन द प्रोसिड्युरल स्टेप, द्याट मिन प्रोसेस स्टेप अफ साइन्टिफिक रिसर्च विथ सुइटेबल एक्जाम्पल फ्रम द इकोनोमिक्स अर म्यानेजमेन्ट इन कन्टेक्स्ट अफ त्रिभुवन युनिभर्सिटी भनेको छ। फर्स्ट अफ अल, आन्सर इज बिगन्स विथ meaning of scientific research. Okay, scientific research is systematic, objective, logical, and empirical investigation. Okay, in empirical investigation which conducted to discover new knowledge of or verify the existing knowledge through the scientific method. Okay, it involves carefully planning, data collection, analysis, interpretation, and conclusion based on evidence rather than the personal beliefs and personal emotion. Okay. In context of Tribhuvan University, scientific research is widely applied in economics, management, education, social sciences to solve the practical problems such as declining the student performance, banking efficiency, unemployment, and organizational productivity. Second part, procedural steps of scientific research. Scientific research begins from the identification of problem. Identification of problem, then in that conclusion. Okay. First step is identification of research problem. That is identification of problem. Okay. Then first step, then problem is identify clearly, specific, and researchable. Okay. For example, in context of TU, factor affecting the academic performance of BBA student in Tribhuvan University. Okay. Step 2, review of literature. It is a very important step and phase of scientific research. In literature review, okay, study of books, journal, thesis, okay, and previous research are reviewed to understand the existing knowledge, to find out the research gap and redefine the problem. Okay. For example, reviewing past MBBS dissertation, NRB reports, journal articles on student performance and learning outcomes. These are the example of review of literature. Okay. Third step is formulation of objective and hypothesis. Formulation of objective and hypothesis. Research objective define what study aim to achieve. Then while hypotheses are testable statement, then which give the relation between the variable. Okay. For example, objective should be uh, to examine the impact of teaching method on student performance. That is objective of the research. Then hypothesis is there is significant relationship between teaching method and academic performance of TU student. It is the hypothesis. Okay. Then step 4, research design and methodology. In this step involves the selecting research design. Okay. Selection of research design. Research design may be a descriptive, analytical, or casual. Okay, and cause and effect. Then sampling method, data sources, and tools. For example, using descriptive research design, selecting the BBS student from TU affiliated college and using questionnaire as the data collection tool. This is the example of that. Now, data collection is the fifth step of research, scientific research. Data are collected by the two ways: primary source, that are survey, interview, observation, or secondary sources, report, previous report, publication, website, book, government report, etc. For example, collecting the primary data through structure questionnaire from 200 BBS students of different TU campuses. Step 6 is data processing and analysis. Step 6 in step 6, collected data are classified. They are planning, organizing, coded, tabulated, okay, and they are analyzed by using the statistical and inferential tools. Okay, statistical and inferential tools. Okay, using percentage, means score, correlation, regression, and t-test, z-test, ANOVA, okay, factor analysis to examine the relationship between study habits and exam results. Okay. Step 7, interpretation and discussion. Okay. Interpretation and discussion. Step 7, interpretation means explain the finding. Okay. Give the meaning of the finding. Okay. Results are interpreted in light of research objective and compare with the previous studies. Okay. Example, interpreting the interactive teaching method significantly improve the uh, performance of student. Okay. TU student. That is the finding. Okay. That is the interpretation. Step 8, the research summarize the finding and provide the practical recommendation. That is the 8th step. For instance, okay, recommending the TU to incorporate blended learning and continuous assessment system to enhance academic performance. It is the conclusion and recommendation of finding. Conclusion, okay? Conclusion may be scientific research follow the logical and systematic procedure, okay? Logical and systematic procedure to ensure reliability and validity of result. In context of TU, such research play the vital role in improving economy policies, management practices, and educational quality and academic quality, faculty quality, okay? Making it an essential component of higher education and decision making, then scientific research is very important, okay? Now next question is, what is questionnaire? Okay, what is questionnaire? State the principle of questionnaire designing with example. Okay, it is very important question. Meaning of questionnaire. Okay, a questionnaire is a systematically prepared set of written question designed to collect information from the respondent or participants for research purpose. That is called questionnaire. It is the one of the most common used primary data collection tools in social science management as well as economic research. In Tribhuvan University, TU, questionnaire are widely used in BBS, BBA, MBS thesis, as action research as well as surveys studies to collect the data from the student, employees, customer, and organization. Now, principle of questionnaire designing. First of all, questionnaire should be clear and simple. Right? They have the clarity and simplicity. Questions should be clear, simple, and easily understandable by the respondent. For example, what is your monthly income? Another is, what is your approximate monetary earning per month from the all possible sources? Okay, there are two questions. Okay, there, but here is first one is very simple and clear. Second one is complex, lengthy, and it has the complex word and language. That's why question should be like first question, simple and clear, easily understandable by the respondent. Okay, question made for respondent, not for researcher. Okay, relevancy to research objective. Okay, relevancy. Okay, questionnaire should be relevancy to the research objective. It align with the research objective. Okay, questionnaire be should be formulated on the basis of research objective. Okay, each question must be directly related to the research objective. Okay, for example, study on student performance, asking about study hour is relevant, but asking about favorite movie is irrelevant. Okay, to study the student performance, okay, asking question about study hour is relevant, but asking about what is your favorite movie, what is your favorite game, that will be irrelevant. Okay, question should be relevant. Okay. Then number 3 principle is avoidance of ambiguous questions. Okay. Multiple meaning and double meaning should be avoidance. Okay. Do you regularly use digital learning tools? What is regular? It is a multiple meaning. Okay. How many hours per week do you use digital learning tools? That is very simple and clear question. Okay. Question should not be ambiguous. Okay. Multiple meaning. Multiple meaning should be avoid in question I. Avoid leading and biased question. Okay. We have to remove the leading and biased question. Question should not be lead the answer. Okay. Question should not be suggest or influence the particular answer. For example, do you think online class are effective? That is a influence question. Effective, that is influence. That means effective means that is the influence. Answer is influenced by the word effective. But we can ask this question in this way: how effective do you find online class? That is neutral question. Okay. Question should not be biased. Question should be neutral. Okay. Now another principle is logical sequence of questions. Okay. Logical sequence of question. Questions should be logically sequence. Logical order. Question should be arranged in logical order from general to specific. Okay. From general to specific. For example, are you enrolled in TU affiliated college? It is general question. How satisfied are you with the teaching method used? That is specific question. Okay. Brevity and precision. Question should be short, not long. Okay. Because it make the respondent fatigue or bored. Okay. Are you implied? It is a good question here. But are you currently involved in any form of income generating employment activities? Meaning is same, but this question is very lengthy. That's why question should be catchy, brevity and precision, compressed in shortcut. Okay, to the point, not explanatory. Okay. Now principle 7 is avoid the double barrel questions. Okay. Each question should address the only one issue at a time, not a two issues at a time. For example, are you satisfied with salary and work environment? There are two barrel. Okay, double barreled. Okay. Are you satisfied with salary? Are you satisfied with your work environment? Questions should be like this. Okay. Appropriate question format. Questions should be in suitable format such as open-ended, close-ended, or Likert scale, depending on the data needs. Okay. For example, Likert, right? Likert scale. Online teaching improved the learning outcomes. Strongly agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree, and these kinds of question. Okay. Structure should be clear. Suitable structure should be applied. Okay. Open-ended, close-ended, Likert scale. Okay. Assurance of confidentiality. Okay. Confidence should be there. Okay. Confidentiality should be there. Respondents should be feel safe to provide the honest responses. That means privacy of respondents should be protected. Okay. That means respondents should be protected from their personal information. This questionnaire is for academic purpose only. Your response will be kept confidential. That is the example of assurance of confidentiality. Pre-testing, pilot study. Pre-testing means pilot study. Questionnaire should be pre-tested on the small group to identify error. First of all, to take the in large mass, okay? First of all, questionnaire should be pre-tested. Pilot test, pilot study, okay? In small group to find out the error, okay? Error. Example, pre-testing with 10 MBBS student of the TU before final data collection. That is pre-testing or pilot study. Now conclusion, well-designed questionnaire ensure the accuracy, reliability and validity of data. By following the sound principle of questionnaire design, researcher in the TU can collect the meaningful and dependable data for management and economic research. That is conclusion of this answer. Okay. Then principle are, we have to follow the 10 principle of the questionnaire design, pre-testing, okay, pre-testing, assurance of confidentiality, then appropriate question format, avoid the double barrel questions, brevity and precision, logical sequence of questions, okay, from general to specific, avoid the leading and bias question, avoidance of ambiguous questions, relevancy of to the objective, and clarity and simplicity. These principles should be followed during the preparation of questionnaire or during the designing the questionnaire. Okay. Now we are going to discuss another questions here. Define research report. Okay. Describe importance and types of research report. Okay. What is research report? Describe the importance and types of research report. Okay. Research report is formal, systematic, and written presentation of research process, finding, analysis, and conclusion after completing the research study. It is the documentation part. Okay. It is a phase of documentation. It communicate what was studied and what was how it was studied and what was found and what conclusion or recommendation were drawn. It communicate to at last. Okay. It is the final product of research. Okay. In Tribhuvan University, research report are prepared in form of thesis, dissertation, project work, action research report, or seminar paper. Okay. In context of TU, research report are prepared in form of thesis or dissertation, project work, action research report, and seminar paper. Okay. Now, importance of research report. Research report is why research report is important. Research report is important for communication of research finding. Communication of research finding. Number one, uh, research report communicate the report to the result of research to the academician, policymaker, manager, students. That's why it is very important. It communicate the research finding to the academician, that means students, okay, and then faculty member, policy maker, manager, and students. For example, an MBS thesis report help TU faculty understand factor affecting TU student performance. This communicate the TU faculty. Okay. First of all, communication. For communication को लागि it is important. Second one, basis for decision making. Research report give the basis for decision making. Okay. Research report provide the scientific evidence and which help for managerial and policy decision. Okay. Okay. Managerial and policy decision. For example, economic research report guide and government policy on youth employment in Nepal. It is a one example of basis for decision making. Research report is important for making the decision. Okay. Third one is academic and knowledge contribution. Academic and knowledge contribution. Research build up the knowledge, new knowledge. Okay. That's why it add the knowledge. Okay. A research report contribute to existing literature as well as help the theory development. Okay. For example, TU dissertation are used as a reference for future research. TU dissertations, TU thesis are used as the reference for future research. Record and documentation. Research reports serve as the permanent record of thesis work conducted. Okay. Permanent record. Permanent record. Okay. It is a permanent record. Final product, a permanent record. Number five, evaluation and grading. It is the base of evaluation and grading in academic evaluation. In context of TU, research report are essential for academic evaluation, viva voce and grading, as well as promotion also. Yes, promotion of the professor. Okay. Guidance for future research. Research report guide the research research gap. It helps to identify research gap and provide the direction for future studies. Professional development. It is important for professional development because preparing the research report enhances the analytical writing and critical thinking skill of student or researcher, that helps to develop the professional development or professionalism, career development. Now, types of research report. Types of research report. Okay. Research report can be classified into following types. Number one types is technical research report, prepared for expert and academician. Use technical language, detailed methodology, and statistical analysis. Example, PhD dissertation, journal article submitted by the TU faculty. These are example of technical research report. In technical research report, one feature is prepared by the expert and academician, as well as use the technical language, use of high technical language, There is the detailed methodology as well as statistical analysis. There is the statistical analysis. For example, PhD dissertation, journal articles, and as well as thesis. Okay, popular research report type 2. Prepare for a general reader and decision maker. Use of simple language and summaries. Example, research report published by the government agency, NGO in Nepal, etc. are example of popular research report. Number 3, thesis or dissertation report. Prepared by academic degree requirement. Structure as per TU guidelines, chapter references, appendixes. For example, MBBS, M.Ed thesis submitted to the Tribhuvan University, that is thesis or dissertation report. Number 4, interim research report prepared during the research process. In time of research report, shows the progress of the study. For example, progress report submitted to the TU research supervisor. Number 5, summary research report, condensed version of detailed report, highlight key finding and recommendation. Research report is an essential components of research process, ensuring systematic documentation, effective communication, practical utilization of the research finding in context of TU. Research report play a vital role in academic assessment, policy formulation, and knowledge generation. Okay, that's why research report is very important. Okay, we discuss about the types of research report. There are 5 types of research report. 1, technical. 2, popular research report. 3, thesis or dissertation report. 4, interim research report. 5 is summary research report. There are the 7 principle or 7 importance of research report. Okay, for communication of research finding, basis for decision making, academic and knowledge contribution, record and documentation, evaluation and grading, guidance for future research and professional development. Okay. Now we move to uh, next question. Now, explain the difference between basic and applied research in uh, context of TU example. Basic research. Okay, first of all, basic research. Basic research is called pure research or fundamental research. It is conducted to develop the new knowledge, theories, and principle without any immediate practical application. It is a primary aim. Its primary aim to expand the existing body of knowledge. Okay. Example in context of TU. A study on theoretical relationship between inflation and unemployment in Nepal using the Philip Cobb, conducted by TU Economics faculty. That is the basic research, okay, to develop the new knowledge. Meaning of applied research is, applied research is conducted to solve the specific, practical, and real world problem, real life problem. It focuses on the application of existing theory and knowledge to improve the decision making and practice. Okay. Example, management faculty or or student on improving student retention rate. Again, listen now. A study on improving student retention rate in Tribhuvan University Affiliated Management College. It is the applied research because there is the problem. There is the real problem. That's why it is an example of applied research. Now, difference between basic and applied research. Okay. First of all, basic and applied research. Objective of basic research is to develop theory and general knowledge, while the objective of applied research is to solve the practical problem. Nature of the basic research is theoretical and conceptual. Applied research is practical and problem oriented. Scope of basic research is broad and universal, while scope of applied research is narrow and specific. Basic research cannot be immediate use, while applied research is done for immediate application. Focus. Basic research focus on why and how phenomenon occur, while applied research is focus to how to improve or how to solve the problem. Basic research outcomes, new concept, models and theories, while outcomes of applied research is solution, policies and action plans. Time orientation, basic research. Basic research take the long-term knowledge development, but applied research is short-term, medium-term problem solving. User of result. The basic research is used by the academician or researcher, while applied research can be used by the manager, policymaker, and practitioner. Okay. Flexibility. Basic research is less affected by the seasonal constraints, while applied research is highly influenced by organizational context. Team example, developing a model of consumer behavior is the basic research, while application research or applied research is improving marketing strategy of nebulous forms. That is applied research. Conclusion, both basic and applied research are complementary in nature. Basic research strengthen theoretical foundation, while applied research use those theory to address the real life economic and managerial problem. In context of TU, basic research support the academic advancement, whereas applied research directly contribute to national development and organizational effectiveness. Okay. Now next question. What is review of literature or pre-literature? Is review of pre-literature necessary in research study? What are the different sources of pre-literature survey? Now, meaning of review of literature or pre-literature. Okay. Or review of pre-literature, also called review of related literature, refer to the systematic examination, evaluation, synthesis of existing research work, theories, model, report, publication related to the research problem under the study. It helps the researcher understand what has already been studied and what finding exists and what gaps remain. In Tribhuvan University contest, review of pre-literature or review of pre-literature or literature review is compulsory chapter in these thesis, dissertation and research report. Is review of pre-literature necessary? Yes. Why not? Yes, review of literature is essential in any research study due to the following reason. First of all, it helps identify research gap, find out the research gap. It prevents the duplication and help the researcher identify unexplored or insufficiently studied area. For example, review past new thesis on banking performance may reveal lack of studies on digital banking impact. Help in problem formulation. Pre-literature review helps refine and clearly define the research problem and objective. Provide the theoretical framework. It helps in developing conceptual or theoretical framework and identify the relevant variable. Guide the methodology selection. By reviewing the previous study and researcher can reflect appropriate research design, tools, sampling, method and statistical technique. Help in hypothesis development. Okay, it provides the base for formulating testable hypothesis, enhance the validity and reliability using the established concept and tools from the earlier studies, improve the scientific rigor, support interpretation of finding can be compared with previous research to draw the meaningful conclusion. Now sources of literature review. First of all, test and book and textbook provide the theoretical background, concept and definition. Example, research methodology and economics textbook prescribed by the TU. Journal and research article provide the latest empirical finding and advanced discussion. For example, TU Management Journal, Economic Journal of Nepal, International Journal, etc. Thesis and dissertation provide in-depth studies and methodology guidance. Example, MBBS PhD thesis available at TU Central Library. Government publication and reports provide the evidence, data and policy related information. Example, Nepal Rashtra Bank reports, Central Bureau of Statistics publication, Economic Survey of Nepal. Conference, paper and seminar proceeding provide the current research and trend emerging issues. Online database and digital libraries provide access to the global research work. Example, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, TU Digital Library, newspaper and magazines. Okay, these are the sources of review of literature. Useful and current issues for trend and background of information. Okay. Now conclusion. Review of literature is fundamental and unavoidable step. We cannot avoid it in scientific research. It strengthens the step by step study, ensuring the clarity, relevance, and methodological soundness and academic credibility. In contrast of TU, well-structured literature review forms the foundation of quality research and scholarly contribution. That is one important for literature review. At last, we are going to summarize it. Okay, literature review is important. Okay, because it is systematic examination, evaluation, and synthesis of existing research work. Okay, theories, model, report, publication related to the research problem under the study. It examine, systematic examine, evaluate, and synthesize the existing research work. Find out the gap. Okay. साथीहरू, हामीले आज यो सेसनमा 5वटा क्वेसनहरूको छलफल गरेका छौँ। यी क्वेसनहरू मैले यहाँ सर प्रेजेन्टेसन गरेको छु। यसलाई हेरेर तपाईँहरूले नोट डाउन गर्नुहोला। यो क्वेसन चाहिँ एक्जामिनेसनको भ्यूमा यी क्वेसनहरू चाहिँ धेरै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छन्। फेरि पनि अर्को भिडियोमा अरू बाँकी क्वेसनहरूलाई लिएर आउनेछु म भन्दै अहिलेको लागि म पनि बिदा हुन चाहन्छु र सँगसँगै तपाईँहरूको सहयोग, तपाईँहरूको माया सधैँभरि रहिरहनेछ र यो हाम्रो बिपिएस च्यानललाई सब्सक्राइब, लाइक र सेयर गरिदिनुको लागि म सम्पूर्ण साथीहरूमा अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद है साथीहरू।